Okay, so now we're recording. Say hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
Let's get our faces done.
Happy New Year, guys. I know that I'm super late to the bandwagon, but like, Happy New Year. I hope 2018 is like full of blessings and happiness and everything you ever wished for, etc. Today's video is one that is new to my channel and I'm so excited to be venturing into this. This is my first ever client tutorial video where I do a transformation on someone, and my lovely guest today is my absolutely stunning grandmother. I am planning to venture into makeup artistry in 2018 and she was kind enough to let me use her face as a canvas, and she's already absolutely so beautiful, so it was super easy. If you want to see the process, then just keep watching. So we were in Malindi, which is super hot, so I did have to pat down her face before we began because she was sweating a little. And then I went in with my black opal illuminating primer, which I absolutely love using underneath foundation when I'm doing other people's makeup because I feel like it does have a bit of longevity to it. And I spread that around her face with a flat foundation brush, which I then used to spread around the foundation. The foundation that I chose to go with today, and which I will basically be using in my kit every single time, is the Revlon Color Stay Foundation, because this foundation has incredible lasting power. I am obsessed with this foundation. Literally matches up to my Estee Lauder. It's insane. So I'm just spreading this around with a flat foundation brush, and then I did try to blend this in with a super dense brush. This is my M439 by Morphe, and I kind of had a bit of trouble. I felt like it was lifting the foundation off her face, so I did end up switching to my Real Techniques buffing brush, as you will soon see, and it just blended it in absolutely fantastically. So yeah, I am going to be using a less dense brush on my clients because I feel like that just blends in product so much easier. So after I'd made sure that the foundation was perfectly blended all over her face, I did have her open her eyes, and I noticed that the foundation hadn't blended in to the fine lines as well as I had hoped. So I did use whatever was left on the flat foundation brush and sort of just fill them in. But then as you can see, the color match is absolutely perfect. I'm really proud of myself for that because I was kind of worried about doing that as a makeup artist, like color matching someone on the go, but it turned out pretty damn good, so I'm pretty proud of myself. And as you can see, I am just filling in the rest of the lines and whatever spaces have been left by the foundation with my LA Girl concealer in Fawn. And then, as always, as I do for myself, as I do for everyone else, I'm using that same sort of loosely packed Real Techniques buffing brush and blending in the concealer because I do like to pat it right into the eye to keep as much coverage as I can. And I do know that people say that less is more with more mature skin, but I feel like they deserve just as much makeup as we do, as long as it's not heavy, as long as you have the right products and the right makeup that you're using on them. There's absolutely no reason to be like skimping on the makeup, you know? And as you can see, I haven't gone for a dramatic highlight, so it does just blend into her skin and still add a bit of dimension to it. And when she opened her eyes, I did notice that it hadn't quite blended in as well as it should have underneath, so I did go in with the concealer brush and fix that. And then I patted it in with my finger just to add a bit of warmth to the area. And then I am going in with my Color E Science powder foundation. I think that's how you say it, I'm not really too sure. But I love this powder foundation, and as you can see, I did save her brows for after concealer because I wasn't gonna give her like boxy Instagram brows, and she's really not comfortable with her brows being too dark. So I do go in with a very light hand, fill in mostly the bottom with a dark brown pencil, and just comb through the product with a spoolie in order to spread it around without having to put too much on. But I'm not going to be cutting it with concealer, we're not going to be going super precise. That's why I could do it after I got her base done. She always nods off when I'm doing her makeup, which I find absolutely fantastic because that means I am a very gentle makeup artist. But as you can see here, I am going in with my Morphe 35O Shimmer and Matte palettes. Those are the only two palettes that I carried with me because I wasn't really expecting to play around in makeup or to get the chance to shoot anything. So I really wanted to like reconnect with these two palettes and like figure out what I can really do with them, you know. And they did not let me down. They have not let me down all month. I'm pretty damn impressed all over again. The color colors don't have names, unfortunately, so I can't tell you exactly what I used, but as you can see, I did start off with a darker transitioning color just so I could know exactly where I'm placing her crease. And you will see throughout these clips that I am having her open her eyes as I'm doing her makeup, because she does have slightly somewhat hooded eyes, so I do want to make sure that the eyeshadow is actually being seen and that I'm not just doing work that's gonna disappear. So I sort of have to create a crease above her natural crease in order to have the eyeshadow actually be visible. And then here I am going in with my first shimmer, and I decided to sort of use the rule of thirds on her eyes, so I am going in with 3 different sections of this eyeshadow. But for the shimmer, I did lay down some tissue to catch the fallout because I didn't have a loose powder to use. And yes, I did just use some shimmer on the inner half of the eyelid, and then a really deep brown with a rather precise brush on the outer corner, just to really darken that and like smoke it out, because I wanted to give her sort of a fancy smoky something look. I don't know what vibe I was going for, but I was just trying to recreate something that I would be comfortable wearing and going out in. And I always knew I wanted that sort of transition color to be something that really pops. So as you can see, I did go in with one of the Morphe colors, but I felt like it wasn't bright enough, so I did switch over to a much more popping transition color that's sort of a bronzy goldy shade, and I absolutely love the final result. As you can see here, I am going in with my Maybelline pressed powder in the shade 370 with my e.l.f. kabuki brush, and I am just patting that along the sides of her face. It is a darker powder, so I am setting the foundation and sort of beginning the bronzing process. Now I'm going in with my e.l.f. blush quad, and I absolutely love this blush. As you can see, I did kind of go a little bit overboard with it because I always go overboard with my own blush and then tone it down with the rest of the product. So now I am contouring with my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour powder in Carob that I absolutely love. I am just taking a tiny bit of product on her forehead, around her cheeks obviously, and then underneath her chin, just to sort of chisel it out a little bit, but not too much. I'm not going overly extra with the products, you know, and then around her nose to chisel that as well. And then I'm going in with an absolute favorite, the Kevyn Aucoin Neo Setting Powder. I adore this. They did send me the trio, and I absolutely love this. I literally use this on myself every single time. I feel naked without it. So I have been using it on her as her glow, and it just looks absolutely phenomenal. It literally makes it look like she's glowing from the inside, and I absolutely love that. Literally, someone looked at her once and said she looks like a doll, you know, and that's kind of the look that I go for with my makeup. So I don't use it as a setting powder, but I do use it as a base, like an underlying glow, when I don't want to use a very specific highlighter. And this is me catering to my client's needs because her nose was itchy and obviously she couldn't scratch off the makeup, so I did just go in with a brush to sort of pat into the area and like help her get some relief, you know. And then I am just piling on the Kevyn Aucoin setting powder, and then going in with my finger just to really emphasize the glow on the tip of her nose, because I am all about that nose highlight. Judge me all you want, but I am all about it. So now I am just demonstrating to you how I got her lashes on. Another thing everyone always says is on mature clients, oh, they don't need lashes, or they need individual lashes. Like, you just need to get the right pair of lashes, and these, as you can see from the one eye that's done, these are not intimidating lashes whatsoever. You can barely see them on her eyes, but they do make a huge difference. So I say just try it. Like, go for it. You never know until you go for it. And then the last and final product that I am using on her is my Colourpop Satin Lip in Prim. So I didn't want to go for something super matte because I wanted her to be comfortable as we went out to dinner. So I just wanted to go for something a bit more moisturizing. And this is the final result. I absolutely love it, and I just wanted to show it to you before we got the hair on, so you can see that the makeup does stand out on its own. It's very simple and subtle, but it looks kind of natural but still kind of banging, you know, and that's kind of what I go for with my own looks. And then now we threw on the wig, we fluffed it up a bit. My granddad is off in the corner amusing her. That's why you're seeing this blush coming on. But yeah, I think she looks absolutely fantastic. I am so excited to do more of these as soon as I get back in town. But yes, this is my very first ever client tutorial. I hope you guys found it interesting, helpful. Also, I do have to talk about the camera work in these final clips because I was holding the camera because the camera was handheld at this point and I cannot keep my hand stable for anything in this world. So I am so sorry that the video is kind of like shaking and bouncing around, but I did not have my tripod because I did not expect to be shooting, and yet I did, and I think it turned out pretty damn good. So if you like this video, if you want to see more of my grandma, definitely give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, let me know what you thought, what you would do differently, what you liked about the video, etc. Let me know everything. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.
No.